We got R. Kelly, Ketanji Brown Jackson, a singles mixer that didn't mix, TikTok might stop, Diddy had a dream, and much more on this episode of Break It Down with your girl, Chaya. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On this episode of Break It Down, I want to remind you, the viewers, to make sure that you subscribe before you even see the rest of this video. Subscribe to the video, like, comment, and share. Share like, yes, we have to get this message out and let them know that the movement is here. All right, so let's get started. All right, so R. Kelly, Robert Sylvester Kelly, has gotten sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for sex trafficking. And the U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly handed down the sentence in Brooklyn after several of Kelly's victims angrily addressed him at the hearing. Donnelly minced no words as she threw the book at the once beloved performer, according to NBC News. You were the person who had great advantages, worldwide fame, celebrity, and untold money. You took advantage of their hopes and dreams, holding teenagers in your house trapped. You were at the top of your organization and you raped and beat them, separated them from their families, and forced them to do unspeakable things. This is what Judge Donnelly said. Victims who also addressed the singer and the court said that they had barely had any will to live during their time under Kelly's control. One victim that goes by Jane Doe number 2 said, "You degraded me, humiliated me, and broke my spirit. I wished I would die because of how you degraded me." Do you remember that? She scolded Kelly, who was wearing olive-colored prison scrubs over a long-sleeve white shirt and wore a black mask. You couldn't care less. I avoided your name in your songs and suffocated with fear. What you did left a permanent stain on my life. See, the problem with this whole R. Kelly case is that he has now been convicted and sentenced of this crime of sex trafficking and has been given 30 years. And rightfully so. But R. Kelly also has a very bad problem. So being institutionalized and incarcerated is not going to fix that problem. He has to get help with his mind and his brain because something is off, clearly. So you just being thrown into jail without getting the actual mental help that you need is going to be useless. You're just going to grow to be an old, perverted pedophile, you know? But with that, ironically, Ghislaine Maxwell has just been sentenced as well to 20 years. And her crime was for sex trafficking in connection with Jeffrey Epstein, which is weird because Ghislaine Maxwell, she was sentenced to 20 years and was found guilty of sex trafficking. And R. Kelly, and I don't want to make this a black and white thing, but the proof is in the pudding. You know, she got 20 years. I don't know what Weinstein received. I don't know what, or if Roman Polanski got any time. I don't know if Prince Andrew, because it's clear that brother got some issues because his family was just like, nope, you're going to have to strip you of your title. No, you're not going to be here. No, you're not going to be here representing the family like this. No, the family gave him they chucked the deuces up and was just like, peace out. You know, you're going to have to just sit down somewhere, but you can't be operating in the title and you got, you know. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if all of these people have the same issues, some do much more disgusting things, some just are facilitating stuff, but they all should be getting the same amount of time for that same crime. That's all I'm saying. Sticking with music, let's go to Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs. Sean Diddy, Sean Puffy, however he wants to be called. Anyway, Mr. Combs was celebrated and given the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards this past weekend. And he was presented with the award by Kanye West and Babyface. And they did a beautiful tribute. He was obviously a part of the tribute because nobody does it, can't stop, won't stop, and it take that, like Diddy. But even with the tribute that he did, before I even go into what I really wanted to talk about is Kim, Lil Kim. Lil Kim came out, wanna rumble with the beat, huh? But somebody in Kim's life told her that she was not pretty. Somebody told her that somebody made her feel less than what the queen that she is. And she believed them. And my girl, she done totally morphed herself into an unrecognizable Kim from back in the Junior Mafia days. A totally different person. And it's sad because she clearly is an icon in her own right, but she's morphed herself into someone that's unrecognizable. You know, even when she does her, you know, and all of that stuff is cute, but then you're so mesmerized by the other stuff that she has going on that you don't even, you know, Kim. But other than that, Diddy clearly is still grieving the loss of his children's mother, Kim Porter, because he mentioned her name at least 40,000 times within, you know, the tribute and his speech. So he's clearly still grieving, and rightfully so. But he mentioned her a few times, and he did a beautiful tribute to her as well. And his mother looks amazing still, you know, Mama Combs. But I wasn't really here to talk about the fact that he got presented with the Lifetime Achievement Award. I wanted to actually talk about the speech that he gave. Aside from him beginning to thank whomever, that's one thing. But Diddy said this, and this is what blessed my entire soul, okay? According to CBS News, with a speech about his own inspirational dream for the Black community, Sean Diddy Combs channeled the spirit of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King while accepting the BET Award's highest honor on Sunday night. After Combs received his Lifetime Achievement Award, the music mogul said God put a special message in my heart to deliver his new dream. I got this dream of Black people being free, Combs said, with Babyface and Ye standing behind him. I got this dream of us controlling our own destiny. I got this dream of us taking accountability and stop killing each other. I got this dream of us being rich and wealthy and living on the same block. I have this dream of us unifying. That alone was enough to, you know, because that is ultimately my dream as well. You know, I always envision my people being able to come together finally and do what is innate in us to do. You know, systemic racism and structural racism has divided us in a way that is almost I don't want to say that it's not repairable, because everything is repairable. However, will it happen in my lifetime? Who knows? But, you know, there was a time when we were so close, because all we had was each other, and we had to actually cleave. I'm not talking about the ones that sold us out, or the ones that, Uncle Tom'd and cooned, and I'm not talking about none of those people. I'm not talking about the Clarence Thomases of today, of back then. I'm talking about us. The majority of us have that same goal, and the majority of us want the same thing. But situations and circumstances and life and poverty and classism has forced us into these groups, all over this nation and all over this globe, honestly. And we have to get to a point where we're able to see the enemy for who and what he really is, and come together the way we need to, so that we can live on the same block, so that we can get the wealth and the riches that we so rightfully deserve, because so much was stolen from us over centuries. So to that, Mr. Combs, I say bravo, brother, bravo. I'm with you 1000%. All right, so next up. So a woman goes to a singles mixer, and only women show up. And it actually sparked a debate online about the nature of singledom in this country. Now, I'm not single, but there was a time when I was. However, this singles mixer was Black women that went to meet Black men. And somebody created a space where men can approach women that wanted to be approached. And men actually saw that as weird and, what? Ooh, that? Because men nowadays, because everything is a Me Too moment, so men don't even want to tell women, hey, I like your dress, or, oh, you have a nice eyes, or whatever, because everything is now, is this nigga trying to, you know what I mean? So men are leery. And I say that because I have sons, I have brothers, I have friends, I have cousins that are single, and it's just like the pickings are slim. And I have Black men, good Black men that I know that are single, because women that they encounter, I think that they have the IG perception of what life really should be, and what, a relationship should be. On Up for Debate, me and the guys, we talk about it all the time, about how women, have this falsehood about what, it should be regarding men and women. And unfortunately, this young lady, she went looking cute, and it was only Black women just sitting there waiting for a man to show up, and nobody showed up. That is a shot to the heart. They may not have said it, but it's a shot to the heart. But crazy, some of the comments that came out, they were just like, all these men judging these women like they know these women personally. Why y'all so quick to rejoice at a single woman? That's kind of sus. I agree. Another comment said, we, the comments, why are y'all projecting all these things onto these women y'all don't even know? Another comment said, it's the comments for me, LOL. This shouldn't have triggered y'all emotions in this way, LOL. So clearly, Twitter went on a Black Twitter rant, about this particular situation and how Black women are perceived. And that's the sad part. That is the sad part, that Black women are perceived in this way. That all they want to do is find love. At the end of the day, that is the bottom line. They want to have a partner that they can ride with, that they can die with, you know. And because of the fact that the pickings is slim, you know, America especially has the highest incarceration rate in the world. And the majority of those are Black men. Message. When you look at the ratio of the percentage of Black men or Black people in this country, there's no way that that amount of Black men should be incarcerated. And a lot of times it's about poverty and class, you know, and racism. Let's not forget that. But, you know, because of the fact that, you know, a lot of these young men, you know, they grow up in lower income areas that are over policed and underfunded. So, I mean, it goes into such a bigger conversation. So that's why the Diddy story really resonated with me, because of the fact that that has the fact that we need to have that. It literally trickles down into every other area in our lives. And that's why you have this singles mixer that wasn't mixed at all. There's clear, I mean, you have a whole bunch of dudes that are locked up. Then some are like, you know what, I don't date Black women. Then you have those that are gay. And then you have those that just ain't worth a nickel. And then you try to work with them and it'd be like, you know, so it's hard. It's hard. Girlfriend, I know, girlfriend, sis. I understand. You know, that's why, you know, every time I be like, with my husband, I be like, then I gotta think about it and I be like, you know what? I love you. I gotta be like, I love you. Don't leave. It's real in these streets. It is real in these streets. But anyway, on to the next Twitter rant. So, according to Yahoo News, Twitter goes in on cringy white boy complaining about bodegas in New York City. So, Twitter is not having it with a clueless white TikTok user who shared a video of himself searching for a real grocery store in New York City. The TikToker, who one Twitter identified as Griffin Green, was confused why his Maps app kept directing him to bodegas when he searched for grocery stores. So it said, okay, so I just moved to New York and I'm trying to go grocery shopping. And so I type in grocery stores on my Apple Maps, and every effing one I go to, they're like this ish, the TikToker said while pointing the camera to two corner stores. He went on to describe that he was looking for a store where he can get eggs, yogurt, cheese, ish like that. He then took viewers inside one of the bodegas. He laughed off the store's hot bar, referencing the popular TikTok trend, the Akiwe. According to Know Your Meme, the Akiwe refers to a sandwich that Arabic New York City bodegas and deli chefs are known for. Who came up with that? You know, y'all, let me shut up. Where are the Krogers? Where are the Whole Foods at? He asks his viewers, still not convinced bodegas are actually grocery stores. This video concludes the TikToker complaining about having to eat cereal and ramen for dinner. He addressed the backlash he received from the video in another TikTok. He said he thought it was funny. His app kept directing him to bodegas instead of grocery stores. He added that he relocated to New York for a job and was waiting for his lease to start on his Upper East Side apartment while subletting a ish hole apartment for a few weeks. And yes, it's a ish hole. You can't even argue with me on that, he said. There's like trash everywhere on the sidewalks and streets, and there's people sleeping on the sidewalk. You know, this is what happened when you someplace that you don't know about. And this is what happens when you don't know the inner city life. Like, this is Brooklyn. This is New York City. This is how New York City has always been. Like, I used to go to the corner store for almost everything. And then when we had to go food shopping, we would go down around the corner to the Warbounds or to the C-Town and go grocery shopping. But for the most part, if you needed something real quick, you would go up to the Bodegas. Bodegas is like a staple in New York City. And I don't think that he's ignorant because he's white, because there are black people that were commenting saying that, you know, they moved to Flatbush or they moved, you know, to New York City and they felt the same way. When you're not from the hood or the inner city, you don't understand. Like that, I grew up in Flatbush. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Brownsville, you know, and that was the life. You know, in Brownsville, we used to take our cart and our shopping bags, because Big R didn't have shopping bags back then. And that was 20 plus years ago. They didn't have no shopping bags. Y'all just got, Big R was recycling way before y'all was. Who know about Big R over there in Brooklyn and Brownsville? Ponderosa over there. See, y'all don't know the struggle. Y'all don't know the struggle. And this is why when y'all so entitled and what's this and what's that. We had to scrap in there, survive it. We know the good times theme song. Some of y'all don't know that. Because y'all privileged. Y'all grew up with grass and trees. Like even now, where I live, it's nothing but nature and serene and all of this stuff. And it's like shell shock. I had to tell my son the other day, we were just driving, and you know, when we drive through the neighborhoods, all these homes and the manicured lawns and all this stuff. And I'm just like, I didn't have grass growing up. I grew up, Alicia Keys said it best, in the concrete jungle. But that's where dreams are made of. And that is how I got my personality. That's how I got my tenacity. Because I grew up in a place that I had to, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that I was quote unquote poor. You know what I mean? Until, you know, growing up and seeing how other people live. But I was happy. You know what I mean? So y'all in your bodegas and y'all having an issue with the bodegas, beat it. There are grocery stores in the neighborhood. You just have to travel to them. There's not a grocery store, a Publix store, a Piggly Wiggly, or Whole Foods on every other block. But you sure do know when a Whole Food does come into your neighborhood, that is when the gentrification has happened. Officially. But anyway, since he got all that backlash, Mr. Green literally made his TikTok account private. He didn't want that smoke. So he went back into his whole apartment and is eating his ramen noodles and cereal until he can move to his Upper East Side apartment. All right. Speaking of TikTok, the FCC commissioner calls on Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores. And I'm going to tell you why. According to CNN Business, a member of the FCC is renewing calls for Apple and Google to remove TikTok from their app stores, citing national security concerns surrounding TikTok's Chinese-based parent company, ByteDance. So, in a June 24th letter to the CEOs of Apple and Google, the FCC Commissioner Brandon Carr described ByteDance as beholden to the Chinese government and required by law to comply with Chinese government surveillance demands, citing a recent BuzzFeed news report that ByteDance Chinese staff had access to U.S. TikTok users' data on multiple occasions. Carr said that the allegations showed how TikTok is out of compliance with the policies that both of your companies require every app to adhere to. So Apple and Google didn't immediately respond to the request for a comment, but in a statement, TikTok called the BuzzFeed report misleading. So TikTok goes on to say that like many global companies, TikTok has engineering teams around the world. TikTok said that we employ access controls like encryption and security monitoring to secure user data, and the access approval process is overseen by our US-based security team. TikTok has consistently maintained that our engineers in locations outside of the US, including China, can be granted access to US user data on an as-need basis under those strict controls. In a statement, BuzzFeed News said it stands categorically behind our reporting that US user data was accessed by Chinese-based TikTok employees far more frequently than previously known. And we're glad that TikTok even confirmed this in its own statement. So how does that make you feel that that the Chinese company is getting your data? Because obviously we know that China and the US aren't on the best of terms. Honestly, I don't know who the US is on the best of terms with, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, we must be vigilant and we must be careful. And, just having our phones is just like a tracking device anyway, because everything that we have is on our smartphones. We have our clouds based on there. We have our credit cards. Some of us have our credit cards based on there. We have our calendars, our emails, all these things. And, it's easy for, if there was to be some type of war, whether it be digital, that would kind of be the way to use it. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I don't know what China's modus operandi is regarding this, but I hope they ain't trying to do nothing sneaky or fishy. I'm just saying. Check your TikTok. Check your tick and the top, people. That's all I'm saying. All right, on to better news. My girl KBJ. Listen, this is the best news that I've gotten all week, because this week has been rough. We had the 53 people that passed away in Texas, that were being smuggled in San Antonio, Texas, that died in such a horrific way, literally overheated, and it's just heartbreaking. Migrants from Honduras, from El Salvador. There were migrants from a few different places. And that literally broke my heart. Then you had the 22 children in South Africa. Children that were at a club and were literally dancing and just passed out and died. So, and let's not go to SCOTUS and they nonsense, and then the January 6th hearing. Oh, Lord Jesus, help us, Lord. But a light, a bright light, a melanin light. Ketanji Brown Jackson was officially sworn in to the Supreme Court of these United States. Now, we know that the Supreme Court has been stacked over the years by our previous president, who shall not be named. And we know that it is the majority conservative and right-wing. And we know that they also had lied and said that Roe v. Wade precedent stands when they were in their hearings. And then they went in there and was just like, I lied, psych. Ketanji Brown Jackson was sworn in as the 116th Justice of the Supreme Court. Now, the first Black woman. Now, Black women have literally been the foundation of everything on the earth. And this is the first Black woman on the Supreme Court in 2022, my people. Do better. That's all I'm saying. Do better. Ain't no reason why we wasn't in there from jump. Cause we was good enough to do everything else, but we not good enough to set precedents and argue the Constitution. Don't get me started. But Jackson's swearing in came as the court released rulings on two big cases related to climate and immigration. One curbing the EPA's ability to fight climate change, and another saying Biden can end the Trump-era remain in Mexico policy. So now, the climate and the fact that we're killing the earth is something that you gonna roll back. Make it make memes. Make sure y'all go to fatmaven.com or the melaninmovement.com and get your meme shirt. Make it make sense, son. The court is wrapping up a momentous and divisive term that included an opinion overturning Roe v. Wade. Jackson was confirmed by the Senate in April and is filling the seat of retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. Though her addition to the bench won't change the ideological balance of the court, it marks a significant historic milestone for the Supreme Court and the federal judiciary. Now, we know that the court is mainly conservative right-wingers. However, Black women come in and they take over. I'm just saying. Listen, Sonia Sotomayor is already there. Justice Sotomayor is already there. So you have, let me tell you something. That's two. That's two. That's two. Let me tell you something. Miss Sonia and Miss Ketanji. Let me tell you something. Amy Coney Barrett won't know what hit her. Brett Kavanaugh won't know what hit her. Neil Gorsuch won't know what hit him. Listen, everybody else gonna be Clarence. It's gonna be like, huh? Let me tell you something. Did you hear Ketanji's speech when she quoted the late great Maya Angelou? Girl, I said yes. Hallelujah, Ketanji. You know, it's sometimes it's just good sometimes to see your reflection when you're looking at greatness. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't care about these Real Housewives acting a fool. I look at Ketanji and I'm just like, geez Louise. I want to be like you. I want to meet you, Ketanji. Like, those are the people I want to be around. I don't want to be around the Nenes and the Sherrays. I don't like that stuff is for the birds. That woman right there, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and her sister Locks. Let me tell you something, Sway. I live, honey. I live. And I'm here for every bit of it. And I can't wait. I don't know what Joe Biden is waiting for, but he better stack them courts. The Republicans have already decided that they do not play by anybody's rules. And they ain't talking that whole Christian thing. What Biden? They ain't Christian. Christians is known by the fruit of the Spirit. Near fruit, not near fruit. And none of that. There ain't no fruit. Ain't no fruit. They're over there eating chitlins and ham hocks. Ain't no fruit there. Ain't no fruit. No sir, no ma'am. So, as far as Ketanji is concerned, I really hope and I really pray that she is able to navigate and be strong enough to deal with those vices, because they tried to come for her as hard as they want it to be. But see, we're made with we're made with that vibranium from Wakanda. I know Wakanda ain't a real place, but we have vibranium sewn into the DNA of our bodies because of the fact that we got to go against these mofos that always second guessing us and want to put us down because we look like this or say this and make us try to feel less than what we are, but we already know who we are because we got that vibranium in our DNA. Bye. Not today, Satan. No. Not tomorrow either. Not never. So I just want to encourage all of you that's watching this. Keep your head up. Don't let anybody discourage you and try to tell you that you're less than or try to make you feel that you're less than, because you are vibranium filled goodness. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to your Auntie Chaya. Listen to your Auntie Chaya. Don't you let these people discourage you. Don't you let these people get under your skin, especially at your job. Listen, you just like a force field. It just roll right off. Girl, don't, man, don't you let these people, don't let them do it. You hear me? Do you hear me? Listen, what they said in Black Panther, Ibambe? I just looked it up. Ibambe means hold off or hold fast. Let me tell you something. That was a word for you today. I thought I was breaking it down, but I was here to give you a word. Hold fast, my brother. Hold fast, my sister. Ibambe. My God. Look at God. There's another meaning. It says hold strong. Hold off or hold fast or hold strong. That's a word. Ibambe. A battle cry. My God, yes. Come on, somebody. Don't you get me to. Let me tell you something. That's why I wear the. Listen, been through it all. Been through it all. You can't try to do nothing, because I done been through it all. And I'm still fabulous. I'm still here. I'm still holding strong. I'm still holding fast. Come on, somebody. Anyway, that's it. Because I done got myself emotional and I was about to start crying, but I'm not going to do it today. No, I'm not. Let me tell you something. You can make it. You can do it. You can persevere. You can push. You can. And you will. I believe it. Now just receive it. I'm your girl Chaya, and as usual, I am here today to break it down. Love you guys.